Captain's Log, Guardian Chronicles, October 14th, 3308. V. Clara commanding. I promised to update you on the markings as well as our progress on the navigational puzzle. So, without further ado, here's what we've concluded so far. In the search for Guardian ruins, someone came across an obelisk displaying these 3 glyphs. Before long, they had been found in several locations, but analyzed very little, along with a 4th glyph that they had found on the crystals, bringing us to a grand total of 4 in the game. With the original 12 glyphs from the data missions and the additional 8 we believed we had from the wrong vid, that made 24. We had assumed that someone had already tried comparing them in the last 5 years. We were wrong. Not a single report existed anywhere where anyone tried to compare these glyphs. Result? In less than 5 minutes we eliminated 4 and matched 3 others, leaving us with 5 plus the artifacts. Not much of a lexicon. And after comparing them to the timeline, I now believe I know the meaning of these 3 glyphs. These 3 glyphs, in my belief, represent the 3 types of blueprints you were supposed to find for Guardian tech. I also think that their placement and the way they were oriented were supposed to help you begin an understanding of the Guardian abstract inferential navigational mystery. Christ, I sound like a Vulcan. Anywho, the problem now is that they are gone, and any hope of unraveling that part of the puzzle is lost. The console version I have differs from the PC version, and there is no one to confirm whether or not the new glyphs are at the same location. But the new glyphs definitely have patterns in their behavior, and we are studying them in a laboratory. And while an effort is underway to get me onto PC by the community, I am digging into them as much as I can. The match glyphs include the orb, the information glyph from the crystals. We say that because there's already a glyph for the relics, and this symbol is on 3 different crystal types. And we have what I believe to be the weapons blueprint glyph, or one of its variations, as there was more than one. The deciphered in theory glyphs are the ones from the original obelisk display, which we found here in this video from Canon's Guardian laboratory. Using subtle hints in the logs, we believe that the symbol represents the subject and the clockwise motion dictates them as technology. In other words, they work like these. Simple iconography that infers meaning through illumination or motion. In this case, 2 triangles are moving toward a flat surface, like projectiles and a target. Universal for attack or offense. We believe this is the symbol for weapons, and the motion infers that it is technology. In short, weapons blueprints. In the second example, we see an arrow pointed towards an open slot. Installation. We believe this to be the glyph for installable technology or modules. Module blueprints. And in the third example, this absolutely looks like a javelin fighter. So this is the glyph for the fighter blueprints. All 3 glyphs rotate clockwise from different intervals, unlike the new glyphs, which rotate opposite each other at the same interval. The top one rotating clockwise, and the bottom one rotating counterclockwise. We believe these to be orbs in some kind of fluctuation, like the ones inside the keys, but we are still analyzing. Glyphs are also apparent in the architecture, mostly at the structures where we have downloaded the technology presently displayed, but we have yet to test this across multiple structure types. The structures we have observed seem to have our fighter blueprint centered, with the installation glyph present seemingly as a verb. Not only did we find glyphs at the location and others, but we also found directional markers on a large scale. So the structures also apparently play into the navigational puzzle. And since we're on the subject of structures, we are finding more than a few features that hint at processes never unlocked or discovered. There are obvious interlocking parts and what look to be sockets for very specific artifacts in very specific places. We run a few tests but haven't found anything conclusive yet. We will let you know when we do. This of course brings us to the subject of the navigational puzzle in the ruins. Of this, we have discovered not only a compass feature on the alpha, but also a set of sundials with some kind of timing process present. The complex lines up its own cluster against distant Guardian clusters, and usually contains at least 4 timing process dials with relic towers to serve as hands. They also contain an alignment pattern on the east side of the complex that matches the beacon's alignment in space, as well as the central area of the beta complex, which contains what look like regional course corrections for the puzzle started in the alpha. We are still analyzing the regional aspects of how the shapes represent these regions, and we will update you when we find a match. The beta itself is literally shaped like a regional marker, and as we moved on to gamma, we literally started to find parts of the triangular lexicon and other markings that you could only see from high above the complex. These features match the markings at the structures, the beacons, and their computer cores as well. This has been missed in large part due to the heavy erosion of the sites around, especially the Guardian bubble. But the gamma complex is full of markings, diagrams, and patterns. I have sent teams into the field to try to get the best images so we can find the best preserved sites and make our final analysis. And we are trying to break down the markers in our laboratories, as these are the only moving feature in the puzzle. We want to get 3 perfect overheads like these of fully complete and pristine sites. Then we will be able to make full comparisons without anything missing. Earlier this month, we started a study of the circuit boards and circuit patterns obvious at some of the sites and in the arms of the beacons, as well as their connections to the relic towers. And some of those patterns are actually lining up with the layout of certain complexes. When we have a solid and definitive set of images, we will include them in our next report. And as for the Guardian Science Core, it has become a well-oiled machine, and there are discussions about a website. When we get this figured out, we will let you know. But for now, I have to get back to it, so I will keep you posted on any further progress. This is Commander V. Clara, signing off. Kapla.